our throne for what might be the finale again. But this time everything looks pretty important and like happening here. I think we can be pretty safely assuming this is going to be the last episode for super serial realness this time.
Come.
Oh god, am I being fought by part of the star? Oh, it's one of the seeds I see. Oh, it talks to me. I don't like that. It resists bullets too, the worst kind of seed. So I can strike that. Let me do a bit of a normal slash on that to see what your resistances are and things. You're doing a whole lot of the resisting thing. How about piercing? Do you resist piercing? It bloomed into hubris. Oh, weird. Weird and disturbing is what that is. It resists piercing as well. It resists a whole lot, it would seem. How about solar strike? Bang! No one resists solar strike. I mean, I'm sure some people do. Is it playing the main theme again? Oh, so cool. Resist slashing, so that wasn't the greatest move necessarily. How about, Chimera's Tongue? It's got, like, fire and stuff. Maybe you don't resist that? Nope, you do. You do a whole lot of the resisting, friend. I'm not super fond of it. Oh, wait, did you resist his normal bullets? You do not. I should be doing that. Ah, with the heavy striking and things. Blunt damage? No resisting blunt. Weak to blunt. Good to know. Solar strike. We'll finish it off. No more of those blue flowers about, though, to heal us as we go, sadly. Goddess's hands. All right. Now what? Does anyone have any bets about what kind of item that is? A relic? Armor? A weapon? It is armor. Increases defense by 10%. Hey, you know who that's for? Yoink. Interesting. So no word on what actually the Holmes bits of the robot we were finding were meant to add up to. Oh, hey. Speaking of, though, we can still go in this old mine. Interesting. Are the refugees still hanging about, or have they all been treeified? Oh, they're totally fine. Look at them. Man, you guys are lucky you're in here. You do not want to see what's going on out there. Righty. Let's just charge up to this tree, I suppose. And we're going to get struck by a few more stars as we go, are we? Oh, I don't remember this being here. Or do I? Nope, yep, I do. We already did this. Oh, hey. Look at that. Your stuff's all growing now. How about that?
Oh, hello there. Isn't it wonderful? The ground is perking up. Not too much, but enough. Now I can grow things here. Young girl, if you ever need a special plant, I'm sure I can help you.
Does that mean you sell permabuffs?
What's all of that noise outside? The sun's grown brighter and the grass has become lush.
Ooh, buy. Yes, I can buy permabuff things from you. Neat. Snag some of that vigilant sprout, or... No, I can't get any cactus from here. I see. Thank you! If we have a chance to run into Cheryl again, I can pass her some of that and get a bit more defense for Aura. It's not too uncommon for an RPG like this to have, you're allowed to buy permabuffs at, like, right near the end dungeon. For just in case you want to be, like, way overpowered for it.
You're stuck here. You belong here.
Okay! Thanks, Flower. Am I gonna get Goddess's feet from you next? Or, like, elbows or something? So I don't remember what you're weak to at this point, but you are weak to blunt when you bloom eventually. Let's go ahead, it gives you a bit more health after that. So you're weak to normal gunshots, or, well, the previous one was not resistant to normal gunshots at this point, nor solar strike, lunar shot. And they were also weak to blunt. So we have a game plan for how to deal with you now, and I think we might be able to just bring you down before you get a single move, which would be ideal, so that Popelle does not get heavy struck again. We won't quite bring you down. Rapid stab! Well, at least you didn't get heavy struck. Bang! Enough of you. Team Sap rides again. Fair money from all these bunch. Actually, I didn't check. We didn't get an item from that, did we? Seemingly not. Dun, 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 dun. That's so cool. It's like a super dramatic, messed up version of it. If I like stand here, is that worse for me? Where this star was landing? No, I think they're just landing in random places. Can I climb up these vines here? Sort of, maybe. Oh, this is what remains of Goldwood. Interesting. God, the map is all screwed up now, is it not? I could have sworn we went east, and now we're in Goldwood. Well, if nothing else, we should find Cheryl here. I don't like the look of this thing. It reminds me of those scorpion things and of those, what they were calling deer things, the Guardians. Our town in Goldwood was ripped up by those giant roots. We had to flee for our safety. Ah, I see. You just rebuilt over here. Like heavens, this magnificent tree saved us. I don't know what we'd do without its bountiful gifts. Wow, are you not connecting the dots here? Giant roots showed up and then a giant tree showed up and you're like, the tree's our friend. It's not so bad out here after all. Was this the outside Popelle talked about? No! But, as long as that means you think she was right, then sure. The vines are getting into everything that grows. How are we gonna eat anything without him? If these plants can feed us, what's the problem? They don't seem to be bothering anybody. I totally disagree! Oh, hey, Popelle's mom. This is awkward, but, No, you've returned! I'm glad you're alright. I wonder, what's this about? This tree's our salvation. Goldwood was torn up by those giant roots, but this tree's been keeping us safe and giving us food. My girl, you've come back! Everything is perfect now. We're all together! It's a tree of bounty. It grew this entire area. We thought we'd be lost, but we decided to rebuild here by this very tree.
The great goddess Evelyn has given us this retreat, this one sanctuary that all are worthy of.
Are you kidding? This thing's a monster, just like the one we killed in the town.
What kind of monster would save us like this? Evelyn's behind all of this. The Red Kingdom's princess took the throne from the Sky Castle. It needs us. It's baiting you into its roots by offering you its powers. This tree? From those filthy Easterners? That's how Goldwood survived so long? The roots the Mimic left behind feeding on the outside? It was too good to be true. I saw that monster. If you're one of them, your roots are never coming near my Popelle. Right. We're not interested in your offers. You're nothing but Evelyn's mouthpiece.
This is futile. The throne is your salvation. Without it, you are lost.
I'd like to hear you say that again when I shoot you with my golden shot. Godroot fire, Godroot lightning, and fertility. All awful propositions, but I say we, get your buffs out there with that Popelle, then we all go for big group attacks to hit both facets of them. Ouch. It sure hit hard. And magma! Just an entire thing of magma there. It just set us on fire but didn't deal any damage. Go for some spike shot. I'm going for prisms. Here we'll go for lunar storm. We'll do all our big group attacks here. Wonk! They're weak to slashing, these ones. Good to know. Nutrients. I don't like that. We're dealing decent damage to them all. Let's see if lunar storm does anything. The lightning one might resist it. So it does. But it's probably still worth it for the overall damage you're dealing. God, they're quick on their feet, these roots. Actually, perhaps we should just focus down one root at a time so that they don't get to just keep nutrientsing it. Youch! Nah, just keep going with Spike Shot. You're doing fine with that, I say. I don't like the weird, like, multiple lump aesthetic they've going on with them. It's so creepy. Like, around their bust area. Person might be able to bring down the two roots on the side because they're weak to it. Nice, crit! Alright. Spike Shot again, why don't you? Might just bring down the lightning one. Yes, it will. Good. Only one thing to worry about left. It can nutrient itself, but how's Steel Boomerang do? It's not weak to it, so I'll take that. And Solar Strike. I don't think I'll go for Popelle's attack buff when we get to her again. I'll just keep going for Steel Boomerang since that's solid damage, and that plus my Dreadnought Strike might bring it down? Not quite. One more Spike Shot was needed there, Popelle. Bang, 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 bang. Nicely done. PSA, don't try me. Oh, more Goddess's Hands. Ooh, sweet. More defense for me. Without, if we get a few more of those, we'll be able to do that without the Fallen Hood, which lowers my spirit. Not that I guess that matters. I guess this is the tree also?
The days you waste fighting against nature. When will you learn that one who never lowers their sword belongs to it?
I'll learn that when that makes sense. Just like the Fefneron before it.
They take after it. They are all a part of the same body, after all.
Oh god, sorry about all your village, Popelle. They got swarmed by vines while we were fighting.
They seemed like they knew all along, but it was too late.
It is easy to lose sight. Perhaps they know more now than they did before.
Hey, there's someone over there.
Yes, but hold on a second. Check out these hands I got. Is it a bad idea to equip these? Oh, no, yeah, the hood does reduce your agility, which is a shame. But if we get more Goddess's Hands, I won't have to worry about it in a minute. As long as these Goddess's Hands aren't, like, part of the throne also, that would suck. This is a weird turn I wasn't expecting. We're going to be running through all the old biomes we've been to already, except they're all going to be swarmed with the trees, I guess. Lord Syrah, it is terrible. Let me guess. There's one of those funky trees on Mount Arkano as well.
Lord, you shouldn't stay so entangled with the capital exile. You are free of it.
There's greater cause for alarm, Syrah. Our worst fear is past. Come, you must look. I don't love the sound of that. Yes, let's see it. The mountain was torn from the continent. It took all we could muster to evacuate everyone from it. A mountain? If Arkano floats away, our kingdom is lost. The roots, Syrah. The roots are all that are holding the mountain in place. It is being held ransom. Evelyn using the throne to beckon us back into its fold. Ara, I must return to confront their offer. This last task is something my people have always ignored. That we must finally break from our pasts. Is this the end? I can't understand if this is right or not, if our time here is short. Sorry, but if the roots are strong there, we might have to cut your mountain off. At least you won't be tethered to your past anymore. Sierra, where would you go if you were someone who couldn't fly and you were trying to get to the mountain? This way? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess this, big flying continent over here. Yeah, okay, now I'm recognizing this. This is, if we wanted to get to Mount Arkano, we would go across this bridge. I didn't like that sound. Oh, God! It's a big old monster flying around here. Well, I guess we might as well fight it in case they're going to drop some more goddess hands for us.
What are you fighting?
I'm not entirely sure just yet. It has to bloom first before. Never mind, these ones aren't the ones that need to bloom. Bane, Godroot, and Scourge. Just bring them all down, I say. We're all a little low on health. Go for a Sunken Strike and then some Spike Shots, I say, Popelle. So you'll be going with Heart Attack and as frequently as possible. Don't love that. And I'll go for the old Prism, hoping that slashing does some stuff to cut their roots. Spike Shot. Bang, 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 bang. It's not as much as their healing, but if I stack it on with some Lunar Storms and some Dread and Prisms and all, they won't be long for all this. That's some good damage. I don't like your nutrients. Spike Shot! The enemies sure do get a lot hardier around these parts. I probably should think about healing with Sierra at this point, especially as they just did all those onto Popelle. That's no good. Sorry, Popelle, if you could get up, please. I didn't realize they were going to all strike you. That was some not-so-sublime luck. Let's get your golden shot back, and then I might have you heal next chance I get. Probably we should be focusing down one enemy at a time, maybe. But I just like I like using our group attacks so much. How about you throw a Greater Man Spray out on us, Popelle? Because Sierra's not going to be able to go for a little bit, and we're all going to get struck in a moment here. And if you could go for a Sunken Strike, I guess, first. I didn't realize that I had a charge time. Bang! And hopefully they'll just stop healing each other for 2 seconds. Oof. They sure do love putting those all on one person at a time. It's weird, too, how the noises they emit are so, like, peaceful and nice. It's all a facade! Alright, now we've got the advantage here. Spike Shot, we're going to bring them all down to about halfway. Lunar Strike will bring them a little farther. Lunar Storm, they lost their agility down. Well, let's put it back, shall we? Another Spike Shot. Bang, 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 bang. Maybe Steel Boomerang is a bit more appropriate now, because the one in the middle is weak to Slash. Actually, now that I think about it, we could get them gone a little sooner if we just throw one of these out earlier on. Bonk! Now I say we go back to doing our group attacks here. Oh, they're only healing about 500 with the nutrients now, so I think we're fair to do some more of this kind of thing. Oh, did your gold shot run out, Popelle? Sorry, I didn't notice. But I think it might have done. Prism! Get rid of that one now. Things should get a lot easier. Golden shot! Bang! The nutrients one was... I was about to say it was the one in the middle, but it might have been that one as well. I'm a little low on health, but I'm going to tank it with my good defense, I think. So let's just focus them down one at a time now. Solar Strike on you. Steel Boomerang you, see if we can just bring you down before you get a chance to act again. Nice. Infest on from you. I am losing health like mad from some poison or something. But I might be able to just finish this off before it kills me all outright. Not sure what you're weak to, but this Boomerang is doing some decent damage. Solar Storm. Nice, you're weak to that. Oh, the poison can't kill me. It just brings me down to 1 health. Well, that's ideal. Maybe Sunbreaker will finish you off. Nice. Good XP from us. This is worth doing. I suppose I could equip the sketch as well for a bit more experience, but I'm not too worried about it. How's the village down here doing? Been a while since I've been eating my chasm bass as well. What's happening to the north? Giant roots are spreading across the sky. So they are. Hey kid, how's the fishing been? Hey lady, you're back! Sweet. Yeah, need more fish, thanks. I am starving. Just gonna eat a whole handful of fish. There we go, that's good. Is your hunter friend still not back? Hope we found a safe place to hide out. I was so certain we were going to be at the actual end when we raided the Sky Castle that I didn't bother keeping up my experience buffs. Oh, that's a thing that is alive. I was just interested.
Where are you going? You really should stay with me.
Okay, I'll listen. Apparently listening means fighting. Sorry. Okay, die, I guess. World's face. No. Do not like. Dreadnought Slash. That is a certified Dreadnought Slash moment. Please don't resist Slash. Yes. Hey, yonk! And Solar Strike, bang! I simply must insist that you do not get it to move. Ooh, why did you get to go before? I didn't realize Spike Shot had a charge time. Anyway, go, please. No items.
Isn't it easy? You can have all of this world.
it's pretty. I'll admit, this world is pretty. I don't like the way it just uses vines to entangle people and drain their soul. That's a thing I don't care for.
Please believe in me.
No, I'm sorry, having trouble with that one at the moment. 2 seeds this time. The seeds seem to resist all forms of damage, so we may as well just go for some little group attacks before they've bloomed into hubris. What did you resist? What did you resist? Slashing? I don't remember. Let's hope so. And you are instability. You resisted, you were weak to slashing is what I meant. No, you do resist slashing. Never mind. I don't know anything. But Lunar Storm, you probably neither of you resist, were I to guess, and you're weak to it. Are you weak to slashing? You don't resist it anyway, so we can do that with you. And I think I ought to. Blunt. You were weak to blunt, the hubris was, right? Oh my god, look at all these steel boomerangs. Bonk. Sharpen increases crit chance. Well, you won't last that long. Ah, thorns. Getting Hasima flashbacks. Do the blunt thing on you, I think you're weak to it? No, what were you weak to? No, I don't remember. Anyway, steel boomerang will definitely bring you down and we can just focus on the one on the left here. Oh, you don't resist normal bullets. Is that the one we found out? Yes. So you want to keep doing that, Popelle. You want to do solar strike because they are weak to that. And you want to just fire at will. I don't know what I'm doing. Blunt, I guess? You're the one who's weak to blunt. Okay, sorry. I got all mixed around. There we go. Enough of you. Bunch of experience and gold from this. Goddess's hands and Goddess's thorns. Presumably Goddess's thorns will be attack plus 10% or something like that. Which really is for none of us. The way we've had our builds going. But I'm cool to equip 3 Goddess's hands. That's cool with me. Pierce damage by 10%. Happy with this. It'll also bring our agility up as well because it's not being tanked by the Fallen Hood anymore. Neat. Oh, we could go do the little fight with the Emperor's spirit now. Oh wow, all the Ark are hanging out here. I guess they all evacuated the mountain for this. Oh, you're just a store. Cool. Cheers. Thank you. I suppose we're all exiles now. Might be. Is there any of this stuff we want to buy, by the way? I guess I could get the Obsidian helmet would be neat, but I'm way too broke to afford it. And the gauntlets, for that matter. We've got some decent gear on us. I'm not too worried. What all are you letting us craft? Magnite stuff, right. I don't think we actually ever found any Magnite. The guards are trying to calm us down, but everyone is still afraid. Is there nothing we can do against these roots? At least you all aren't taken in by it. I appreciate that. If we're all put to sleep, what becomes of our world? Nothing great. Well, maybe. I mean, I guess it's good for the plants, but it's not great for sentiency. Spirit by 10% we probably want. Defense by 5% now pales in comparison to what we can do. Ooh, Auburn Furor. I don't remember all this. And Turquoise Hymn. And Sun's Diamond. Wow. I don't have enough sapphires to get the Sun's Diamond. Unless one of you here sells the jewels. Oh god, talking to you did something. Oh, okay. Zero, you finally come! Have all the civilians of Arkano been accounted for? All but the lesser beasts, though the petals from the throne hadn't made their way through our own storms. Lesser beasts, are you referring to the exiles? Or do you just mean like the pharaohs and things? Or agims or whatever they are. Or like the actual animals. When we arrived, some began to be infested. Purges don't seem to do anything. I fear this is a losing battle, but we mustn't inspire unconfidence in the others. The same is true of the West. The roots are coming through all living things. It's never been like this before. Even in Axis' kingdom, only those who succumbed would have been infested. In this mature phase, the throne spreads its own gift across the world. We've no longer a say. What can we do? We'll need food soon. When the throne's roots consume everything, we figure something out. Keep as many safe as you can. When the throne is dealt with, we can concern ourselves with rebuilding. We brought some of our supplies down. Hopefully we can help, be it our last act or not. I hope it ain't. Hey, why not, though? It seems like it would be fun to tackle the Emperor at this point. So do you think it'll only have us fight the Emperor until the point where our battle naturally got interrupted, or do we have to do the whole health bar now? I do rather wonder. But hey, we're a few levels higher than we were last time. This will go great. I don't know why Popelle did her gun animation twice. Ow, my head! Stop that! The Leviathan stung here a bit because we know that there's the big earthquake coming, which is going to be something we don't want. Please don't one-shot any of us. No, we're fine. I had no reason to be worried. Nice. Good crit. Actually, let's see how the spike shot does damage-wise. And Sarah, you better throw on a greater man spray there. Bring us all back to near max. We know it does about 1,500 damage, so as long as we've got about that much health on each of us before he does the ground slam, we should be good. Yeah, Steel Boomerang seems the best move. I don't think we're beating it in 5 turns if we are having to bring down the entire health bar. So I sure hope it just goes to where we naturally get interrupted in this fight, which is we only have to do like a 5th of his health or whatever it was. Hayonk! I mean, to be fair, that is literally what happened in our memory. So if this is reliving our memories of the event, then surely we should only have to do as much as we did the first time. Yeah, was that it? Yeah, can't wait for this battle gold. Sweet. Look at that. Gold medals across the board. Feels great. Cheryl! What gives? Nothing I've got can help get rid of any of these roots. But the infested don't seem to be bothered in the least. Yeah, that's what worries me. But hey, how about vigilance powder? Thank you. I'm so defensive right now. I could punch myself in the face and I wouldn't even feel it. Which is a good thing for some reason. Doink! Ah, that's the stuff. Not sure what to think about all of this. At least I have you potions. All the poor kids around here. Did you come to visit? Sorta. None of the infested appear to be in any pain. Perhaps they are numb, or perhaps they've fallen asleep. The infested seem to lose consciousness without concern for the things surrounding them. It can't be a coma, though. They still seem to feel and react. It's worse than a coma. We've done all we can. The mountain is clear. What will become of us? The infested seem oblivious to the world around them. If we need to rest, we have a few beds. It's not long before we're all forced to sleep, it seems. Beyond the coming dreams, our world is torn apart by the throne's roots. What can we do? She doesn't seem to be in pain, but we can't let this happen. This is horrible. Is this horrible? I don't understand. This is what our ancestors were fighting against, but she seems as if she's merely sleeping. I think it's horrible. I would describe it as horrible. I gotta get the hell out of here ASAP. Put an end to this nonsense. But are we heading up Mount Orcano first? Is that the idea, Sierra? To loosen its hold by getting rid of the roots? I think that might be what we're doing. Except, this is not a path, so never mind. But this is a path. All covered in greenery. How nice. Sort of. Oh, the ambience out here is creepy and weird. Looks like we are heading up to the mountain. And we're going to end things off with the Red Kingdom, or we head to the Sayer Empire before then, I guess. So are we just going to try and sever the mountain entirely, or are we going to run up there and see if there's anything more? Oh, hello. Who are you? Porcelian? I don't think that's Porcelian, Sierra. She's the same color as the vines. Sierra, you've come back. So it appears. I knew you'd return. It felt horrible, Sierra. It couldn't last. Do you remember? You wanted to become our hero. You were a hero to me, weren't you? Was I? It did neither us nor myself any good. Sierra, you mustn't run away. Don't you wish to stay here with me? We could return, Sierra. Our lives would be as they always should have been. Come, take my hand. Let us return to our lives. I'll always be here for you, Sierra. I am your queen. How funny. Things never change. The skies are always stormy. The stories are all the same. I'd rather not live in a world without weather. You are not my queen. Attaboy, Sierra. Poor Sulian, quote-unquote. She's the only thing tethering the mountain to the place. So by literally killing her, he's also letting go of his past. Disturbing, but it must be so. Let's hope Dreadnought Slash is good against you. I mean, I would expect slashing would be good against you to untether you from the mountain. Oh, yeah, baby. That's the stuff. I'll have 6 more helpings of that, please. Sorry about this, Sierra. Actually, out of compassion for you, Sierra, I'll just let you heal us. You don't have to stab her if you don't want. We'll take care of it. Close your eyes, Sierra. It'll be over soon. I promise. Okay, you can look now, Sierra. We've done it. The deed is done. Oh boy. Goddess's Thorns, more of that pierce damage. Could be neat for Popelle, I suppose, in some build, because then her spike shot is doing lots more damage, but I won't fuss for now. It's finally over. That's it. We are without a history. That's not true. Legends will abound of the hero king who severed the mountain from the land below and let rest their old ways. Without our mountain, without the throne, the world will be washed clean. We'll need to create a new council, though perhaps it's for the better. I think so. Knowing our mistakes, what comes next will be better for it. Suited to make even more, perhaps. I guess you did lose all the books that detailed all your other mistakes, but you can make new books! Then let us be off, Ara, to close the book on Evelyn's reign and begin this era that much faster. I concur. Oh, are we headed this way? Will this take us elsewhere? Just brought us down another side of the mountain, I guess. I'm not sure where we are right now. Not recognizing this layout. Or unless, maybe I am? No, we were just here, were we not? Eek! Hi, hey, how's it going? Why won't you listen to me? Blah, la, 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 I can't hear you. Bang! Second strike! Bang! Prism! Spike shot! Even though this one hasn't bloomed just yet, it probably will. Oh, it will after she does her spike shot, so I guess this is a bit of a waste, but never mind. Now it's blooming. Your hubris, you are weak to blunt and stuff. Is this other one weak to slashing? It's not resistant to it anyway. You're weak to normal bullets. Maybe I should just do a spike shot just for some decent damage across the both of you. Lunar Storm, neither of you are weak to, resistant to rather, I'm pretty sure. So that's a thing to do. Aura probably wants to Sunbreaker Hubris over there. Spike shot is probably a decent move to carry on doing from you. Keep going for it. Bang, 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 bang. Sunbreaker, so this one's Scourge, right, but we wanna whack down Hubris a peg or two. Guard break on Sierra. The poor lad doesn't have any defense to begin with. Leave him alone. Defense is my thing. If you're gonna guard break anyone, pick on someone who's got defense. Healed themselves a whole bunch. But we will catch up. Lunar Storm, bang! And a good old Sunbreaker onto you. Hap, bonk! And another spike shot. I probably should actually just done a Steel Boomerang on the one on Scourge on the left there, so they don't get another chance to heal. Crit chance? Oh, what a silly move you employ. You won't have the chance to benefit from it. More of those went on to Hubris than I would have liked, but this ought to bring you down. There we are. Solar Strike will bring you down. Ah, you're weak to that. Good to know. Boom! Level up for all three! Ba, 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 ba. Ooh, 4 more defense points. That's including my 3 goddess hands, though, I suppose. Good old chunk of defense. Dex, rather. And some health and attack to recap it off. Another point of agility for Popelle. Bit more attack, defense, and all. And some points of spirit for a point of spirit for Sierra as well. Likeable all around. Oh, I never checked what Harpsichord's cloak did after all that. Agility by 10, Dex by 20. Hey, Popelle, we found something for you. It's better Dex and agility. Like it. So I'll launch some more fish as our experience buff is running out. And we've got loads and we're near the end, so don't hold back on them. And we've got some more skill points, so let's learn something that we're not going to use. Overpower, there we go. Don't want to nullify to my defense at any point, because that's my big thing. Sure, Bola. So you'd think we'd be headed to the Sarah Empire next, and I guess if there are new enemies, there are more enemies we're fighting around here, that would imply we're going the right way somehow or another. Oh yeah, this is still that sort of same part of Voska Field, kind of. Anything going on in here, you reckon? This person's still hanging out over here. Off we go then. Do you think there'll be a new path down to the Sarah Empire via this southern route here? Kind of looks like there might be. The divide's kind of been smashed open and become a big old ramp. Oh my, the thrones run deep around here, but I don't want to head to the Red Kingdom before we've headed over to Sarah Empire, because I bet there'll be some routes there as well.
I am right.
Okay, alright. Sensing some arrogance from Scourge over here. Second strike, get your attack way high, and then maybe go for some slashing on this one. We'll just see about maybe doing as much damage to this one up front before the other one's even bloomed. Maybe we'll just focus down one at a time here, because the resistances complement each other such that it's awkward to deal damage to both of them at once. So I think I'll just focus down one at a time. Steel Boomerang! Sierra's Solar Strike was good against you, was it? Or was it good against the other one? I cannot remember, but... it's good against you. Good. And Steel Boomerang should bring you down. Nice. Now we can focus you down. Did we say normal gun was good against you? So again, Aura will do some blunt damage to you. With Yield Sunbreaker. I'm pretty sure you at the very least did not resist Solar Strike, so we can do some of that as well. Carry on with just doing neutral gunshots. Popelle. The golden shot's out, but that won't be a problem because I think we've just about taken this down with this. Nicely done. You're weak to it. Good. I keep saying that as though I'm going to remember. A goddess's voice. That's a new one. Maybe that'll be health or spirit or something. Lightning damage by 10%. Cool. I don't know if we had 3 of those, if that would be better than the spirit gain Sierra's been getting. Oh, I see. This is where that old pub was. Right, the world really has been mashed together. I can't go any further south from here. Am I allowed to go to the west? It seems like probably not. So I guess the only path left to take is to the Sarah Empire. Our final stop before we head to the tree proper. The path sure is rugged around here. Another face. We may as well fight it.
You don't need to go further. Everything is here. Stay.
I'll listen to you, only for as long as it takes for me to shoot you in the face. Bang! Second strike. The gunshot noises are so satisfying in this game. Dreadnought slash. Steel Boomerang. Rotting. Oh, it just rotted itself. It didn't even hit us. Oh, creepy. It's still creepy and weird, and I don't like it. Bang! Let's get out of here. I wonder if each of these that we take down is going to make the final battle easier by some metric or something. I don't have to know. Just keep smacking.
Wait, I'm not done. Please don't go.
Oh, I can attack again. Interesting. I guess that's just for extra experience if you wanted it. Or maybe if you just hung around and didn't fight, they would say some weird stuff or something. We can't be slowed down now. We've got important things to undertake. Oh, is this what happened to the palace? It's all so flowery and everything now. Actually, I'm not sure I recognize this place. Oh, this is the Red City. We're skipping right through the Assyrian Empire. Altair, how's it going? Why can't I walk up this staircase? Oh, okay, there we go. Ugh.
You, a traitor to your world.
Traitor? What's become of my soldiers? Of what am I guilty?
Acting against our goddess Evelyn, progenitor of Axis.
Don't you mean progeny of Axis?
The throne's holy ladle.
What manner of insanity is this? Goddess? What have you done with the princess?
Everything will make sense soon. This world's justice is no longer in your hands.
Vile ones! You've avoided these nasty tendrils? The kingdom is being woven beneath them. They've taken my soldiers from me. My furor people will soon follow. Harpsichord spoke of this. I thought him a rambling old fool, and if the fears of the throne were true, we'd be without hope. Is this truly our fate? I sure hope not. I'm gonna draw my sword at it menacingly. God, it's gonna be so cool when I get this crown of silence off my head and I can finally say some threats to go along with my sword.
For the protection of the goddess, your hand must be stayed. This is not regrettable. It is the day you truly return to the earth.
So does Evelyn have like an extra affinity with the throne because she or maybe one of her ancestors was the one to initially wish with it? Purified Knight. No like that. I don't think that word is being used correctly. I absolutely balk at the use of that word. Turn on slash! I don't know what it means when its sword goes around in a circle like that as we smack it. But I probably don't have to if I just bring it down with the biggest hit I have. Out of here with you. Look at all the gold, jinkies. The roof. So it has come to this. Were we so blind? I mean, I didn't want to say anything. Perhaps the old knew something that we've not yet figured out. That there was a reason the throne had to be bound from us. Yet, perhaps it's better this way. That we finally confront it. Ah! Oh gosh, okay, we gotta hurry on here. So do I so resist it because the very ground turns to sand as I walk in defiance of the throne? Is that the reason me and my friends are not getting vined up right now? This was the Red City all right at some time.
Hey, you! You're that foreigner who came to the city! You have to be. I'd never forget that weird crown on your head. Everyone's been swallowed up by these plants. It's like the world's coming up underneath us. But you're here! The plants didn't get you! Everyone lies. The king, the sages. Even Evelyn! How can you trust anybody? Maybe they were right. We should join these roots. Don't say stupid things! I don't like them any more than you. Those filthy lizards, too. But you can't grow up hating and being afraid of everything. But what can we do? Everything's too hard. You can beat up the hard things! Nothing's hard after a couple whoopings! Even these roots? Especially these roots! If we pull hard enough, they might unravel. Are you sure? Positive. Well, come on, we got our own roots to unravel, don't we?
Yeah, we can't stop and help them much as I'd love to. Good pep talk with them, Popelle, though. That was good stuff. That must mean we're getting close to the heart of the tree, though. The Red Castle. Last time I was here, it wasn't so viney. Although the windows were similarly broken out. Oh god, where should I? I don't know my way around this castle, actually. Last time I was here, I ran out pretty quickly. And afraidly. Oh, this isn't far from where we fought, Ye Old Red King, is it? Climbing up this vine out here. I think we're headed into the actual tree proper. The true final dungeon starts now, everyone. Or so I think. Maybe I should have stayed in Goldwood. Was that Popelle thinking that? I don't rightly know. Once again, the big long climb. I'm not a hero. I'm the one who betrayed his people. Ah, okay. That's Syrah. This is everyone's insecurities bubbling up before what is presumably going to be the big final fight here. If I ended this, you would forgive me, wouldn't you? So Boa remembering his father's words. There might be time to just have a few more fish there. Sorry, Popelle, I know it's no cactus Kool-Aid. Is it the night sky sparkling in behind us? Oh, wow. All the stars in the background. Let's hope none of them fall after this is all done to our planet. Whatever they do, I guess we'll have to do this all again. Nuo didn't seem to get a thought of his own, unless his thought was maybe I should have stayed in Goldwood, in which case I'm not sure what Popelle's was. Oh, why is the ground all faces? There's too many faces in the ground. I'm going to avoid walking on that. Evelyn? You're a little taller than I last saw you.
Papa, she's back. She's horrible, isn't she? Fighting and fighting. Why? Why won't you speak to me? I needed you! We needed each other! Please come back. I completed maturity. I was your tree, your angel. It's all your fault. You can talk. I hear you. You said you were dead. You're a liar! Why can't you just leave me alone? Stop reminding me of things I don't want to remember. I just want you to shut up! Everything's complete. We succeeded. Nothing is left to fear. Sky is no longer a black desert. We've all joined its beautiful garden. Don't you understand? This world's hopeless. We're hopeless. I'm hopeless. I tire of this woe. I can't do anything by myself. You've left me with nothing but despair. I want you back. I want it all back. That's our wish. That's my wish. To save us. You didn't have to take off your clothes, did you? It's just undignified. Stop reminding me! I can't take it anymore! This world, it's mine to save. Oh, Evelyn, you got taller again! This time you're a big old statue. Oh, Root. Bang! Popelle! Shoot it! That seems to have gone well for us in the rest of this game. Insurmountable wall. Ah, we've seen that move before. It's not so insurmountable. Oh, it doesn't even give you any extra resistances, seemingly. But I'll get that wall off. Alright! Immediately, like so. No more wall. Root wall changed into root. Stop that now. Very bad. Slash! Slash! Solar Strike. We're doing good damage to this starting root, but it's gonna be a multi-phase thing, it seems. Ah, this, like, snowstorm, light storm move that Asima did. It's scary looking and fearsome. I might even go for Leviathan Stung here just to keep my health. Actually, both of us, let's just go for our little healing moves here, as we're doing decent damage regardless. Why not once more? They did have so many group attacks that Serenity probably isn't going to do us so much good. Oh, that's a lot of souls. Symphony? What is Symphony and why? Nah, actually, maybe I take it back. Let's go with big damage stuff. Trying to finish this encounter because I don't want to find out what Symphony does. Don't worry about that wall. Popelle, just keep smacking. Oh, never mind. Now it resists that. It didn't a moment ago. But I can get that off. This is a cool battle theme as well. Very dramatic. Ah, it's clinging onto these last few points of health with fervor. This ought to bring it down, though. Nope. Ah, you put that wall down. Solar Strike should pierce the wall. There we go. Root taken down. First wave of this done. We're gonna be like climbing up the tree as we go. Oh, it's just like Final Fantasy VI. Oh god, it's like Visions of Evelyn. Unless there's a bunch of other people that the throne has taken over in the past. It's creepy. Stem next. Wow, this is actually very Final Fantasy VI. Ow, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. This hero's looking a little rough, worse for wear. We got so many healing items. When it comes back to him, I'm gonna have him use one. With his compassion, it should do rather well. How's piercing do against you? Nothing especially good. Stem, you'd think would be weak to slashing. Not especially. Why don't you go for a greater men spray? We've got so many of them. Thanks, Sierra. Bring us all back up. Now it's not the time to be holding back on items. We said piercing doesn't do anything. Normal gunshot? Evade? What do you mean evade? How did this entire thing evade anything? Sorry, normal gunshot does what? Not especially effective, so I guess slashing... If they're not resistant to it, you may as well keep doing that. And I may as well also. It's not doing too much damage, the old rapid stab, so I say we just keep wailing away on it with our max offensive stuff. We can bring it down real quick. I'm not especially looking forward to what the final phase of this tree is. It's going to be something spooky. Solar Strike might bring it down? Not quite, but normal gunshot will. Nice work, Popelle.
Heart Drain would have been smarter there, just to get you that little bit of health back, but here we go. The root, the stem, and then what? Something doesn't seem right with that baby. Alright, is this truly the final phase? Ovum. It could be with the way the music's going. Ovum changed into Ovum. Oh, you're one of those that when we attack you, you can change phase into different things. I'm gonna have Sierra heal us the second he gets a chance here. Change it to Ovum again. So Boomerang, how are you doing? You don't seem to have all that much health either, actually, so you can't be the final phase. I'm going for a big old Dreadnought here. Sierra might go down if they do some big attack on him here, but I'm gonna take the chance that they don't and leave it till his turn to heal. Oh, more of the symphony stuff. I don't know what that does, and it freaks me out. Does that change any of our stats somehow? Oh, it just weakens all of our stats a whole bunch, I see. Oh, but it seems to only last one turn, so it'll be better than that later on. Sierra, Greater Men Spray. We might just have you do that every turn it goes to you, honestly, in this fight. See Boomerang again. Oh, this is so weird and, like, biblically creepy, though. Just what I want from a final boss of an RPG. Hamachi! Starfall. Hits up to 12 random foes with fire damage. Yup, didn't love that. Yeah, so it was definitely the right play to be healing every time we go back to Sierra if stuff like that's going to be coming out on us. Or the Symphony out on us. I think we already had it, though. Oh, I guess it just didn't even renew it or anything. That's cool. But yeah, it sure is weakening my attack power. Get back your golden shot back. We're going to need every buff we can get since we're so weakened. Ah! Another Starfall coming on us. Please don't any more of those land on Sierra. Okay, good. Perfection. That was actually like basically the perfect distribution for that, such that none of us died outright. Sunken Strike and then go for some more Steel Boomerangs when it gets back to you. Please don't do the Starfall again. Ah! No, wait! You do so much of this. Ouch! Ooch! Ouch! Up to 12 random foes, but it only seems to ever do about 5 or 6. They're probably going to do one more of that, and they might bring down Sierra with that. But if they don't, then I'll wait for Sierra to do his big move of healing us all. Ooh, our Symphonies run out, because we're all doing suddenly huge amounts of damage. How much health have we got? I probably need a Dreadnought Slash to bring it down anyway. Steel Boomerang you can do before they get a chance to do anything else, so I'll have absolutely do that. Not quite enough to bring it down, but I probably will when it comes to my turn. Don't throw one of those on Sierra! Aw, mean! I'm gonna finish this fight without Sierra, unfortunately. We're gonna have to heal him first thing next battle. I love how they're giving us golden experience for this, even though it's probably going to be the last battle. What comes after Ovum? The final phase, surely. We're gonna start it at a pretty major disadvantage. Oh, good, it's gonna let us heal before that. Thank goodness. Sorry about that, Sierra. You know what it's time for, everyone? You guessed it. Fish! This is truly the final battle, everyone. Probably, definitely, for sure. The top of the Ember Throne, the top of the tree. So, the conditions are met. Evelyn. Isn't it beautiful? This is our destiny. To return to this garden at the helm of our existence. Up here lies eternal silence, perfect to hear your thoughts, where our words linger forever, where divine inspiration is born and dies, flowers dancing endlessly across the abyss. Utopia. You're full of it. I don't care about your insane rambling. The throne is tearing our world apart. Are more stars falling? Oh god. The faster we put an end to this, the better. There's Monarchino drifting away. Oh, the brutes are coming back! We just spent so long cutting them all up! We can't be letting go of our destinies, can we? These are the fates chosen for us by the stars, after all. All of us are part of this same heavenly body. Father gave us life to decide this fate for ourselves. He groomed us to understand the many reasons for the throne's belonging. We're tools in his struggle to understand. Sacrifices. Now, the conditions are met. 2 remain, and his answer will finally be given. You mean you and I? If you say so. Over and over the same mistake. Wallowing in our hopeless land. Did she stab herself with a star? If only we'd obey its hymns.
When your wishes come true, that is what we live for. I'm going to make them all come true. Because I am this world's angel, the one to bring it true closure. Oh, if you say so. I mean, if that ain't an RPG final boss. Big star-shaped sword. Absolutely shredded. Abs to the max. She's like Sephiroth. Oh, cool. It's a vocals version of the main theme we've been hearing so far. No prominent resistances so far. I say we just keep going with all our natural, whoops, not hard terrain. All our old tactics. Our big damage stuff. Popelle's Golden Shot and Sunken Strike. This time. Have I mentioned, by the way, it's so cool how Sunken Strike is her move because the Sunken City is like a place she always visited. Solar Strike from you there, Sierra. She seems like she's got some decent offense and defense on her, but doesn't especially excel in either way. Because we've almost got her down to half health here, and she was only doing 700 damage to us earlier. Right, but I should be using Sierra to heal as much as possible. Steel Boomerang again. I think I might just go for a Sunbreaker, get that defense buff off of you. I'm not super fond of it. Do I have Popelle's Heart Strike still to get rid of her, rid of that, attack buff? I do not, so Steel Boomerang it is. Sasha should probably give a try at Spike Shot at some point. Oh boy, half health down. Looks like she's going down. I'm yelling timber. Sunken Strike. Things are getting a bit weird and contemplative now. It just says the Amber Throne in reference to her now. Interesting. Yep, get myself a bit of health back while I've got the chance that she doesn't seem like she's fighting back too much. Ah, okay, she's fighting back a little bit. Might as well have another Greater Men Spray go out, Sierra. Heal us all right on up. Wubba-ba-bonk. 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 Was that all? I have my doubts. That was her in like a humanoid form. But there must be more happening now. She looks absolutely deranged, she does.
Please end this, child. Come into my arms. Listen to my voice. Calm. Silence. Good.
Oh, whoa. Don't have my crown of silence anymore.
This belongs to you, does it not?
My crown. My voice. I can...
It was for your own good. You were headed down a dangerous path. You cannot be damned to such a fate.
Dragon, it looks like Axis. But Father was going to crown himself.
Of course. Axis too began down that path. He was the one who allowed this, was he not? Come, young one. I trust in you to make the right choice.
I'm not going to make the right choice then.
Above you is an abyss. One filled with pain. With demons.
I don't care. I'll destroy them too. Please say it's not just me. Oh boy, I want Popelle back. The dragon. I'll give it a try with just the old slash. Oh, okay. That wasn't so bad.
I am trying to help you. Why don't you understand?
Understanding isn't my strong suit. Now die.
I see. Perhaps it is time for humans to be released then. Countless eternities incomplete. They've decided for themselves. So be it.
I brought all my friends back. Is it over? Is it done? Have we severed the star from our land? Are we free to live terrestrially? With no alien stars ruining everything? Back to where it came. Was that Ara saying that? This wasn't it? It's over. We're free from that disease. This is our world now. One we are responsible for cultivating. This wasn't my destiny. Great timing. The damn plant's rotting underneath us now. We've got to get down before everything collapses. Obviously. Come on, Ara. Forget about Evelyn. Let's go back to our desert. I'd rather she come with us. But I guess it's not up to me. Wait, it is up to me. I can run back up. Evelyn! Evelyn! No, it doesn't let me. Damn it. Down we go, I guess. I mean, she's a tough old bird. She'll survive the fall, probably. You gotta escape this place before the whole thing comes down. I mean, some of it's tree and wood and less than, like, leaf. So some of it might not rot, like, immediately. Looks like we've done it, though. The Amber Throne seems to be no more. That was a weird volley of last battles. Wasn't too tough, either, compared to some of the other ones we've done. Certainly easier than those crazy deer things. What the hell? Those things were horrifying. The Red Castle, we gotta get the hell out of here. This is where that... Oh, boy! Oh, okay, rubble falling that way. I guess we gotta escape out the window we came in the first time, maybe. No, rubble that way. Okay. Wait, can I smash the rubble in half, maybe? Or can I go to the left from here? The way we went to the ships the first time? Or maybe is there some other way to go this way? I don't know. Oh, it's not all rumbling anymore. Interesting. Wait, was I not supposed to go this way? Am I about to repeat the whole boss sequence? I think I wasn't supposed to do this because this looks like the tree before everything started breaking. Although, actually, admittedly, I'm a bit curious. Will it actually just start playing the entire boss fight over from the beginning if I do climb up? Oh, they're all still, like, waiting up here. Oh, that's weird. Oh, God. Oh, wait. Hang on. I think I did it wrong. I think I'm not supposed to be here. I think that's a bug. I think I found a bug. Never mind. Guys, let's just get out of here, shall we? Let's go. Going back north from the main room of the Red Castle there brought me back to this, the version of the room before the boss fight. So it restarted everything, or some things anyway. Sorry, I meant to go this way. That's alright, yes, let's have everything break again. There we go. This is what I wanted. Doesn't let me go here, but the rubble is not visible anymore. Wait, so where do they want me to go? Through the middle here? Is there a way to go here? Oh, I can run through this bit of rubble. Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't realize that was something I could just run on through. My bad. This is debris falling here. Okay, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be running out the whole way. I messed up that whole escape plan by going backwards. All right, off we go. Aura, what's wrong? Hurry, Daughter of Axis, we mustn't stay. She wants Evelyn. Oh, Evelyn's back. Hey. Come on, Evelyn, let's get out of here. It won't matter anyway. Aura, come on, we can still make it. We're not doing this without you. I think you might be. It never mattered. We'll rot. It's all over. Come on, Evelyn, don't be like that. Just pull a triple, quadruple front flip with me and we'll get over these ruins together. Come on, don't be like that. Oh, you're getting your health back. Oh, maybe I should be fighting back here. I can heal myself by attacking you as well. Ow. Come on, Evelyn. Doesn't have to be this way. The people still thought highly of you in the end. Sort of, kind of. Ow. Knock defense down too, that's my thing. There's still time to stop this. I really feel bad for stabbing you so much when you're not wearing anything. This really does not feel good at all. Oh, she knocked herself out with that Dreadnought / adjacent move. Come on, Evelyn, don't be like that. Never mind. I was the one who was like that. What a shame. What a shame. The world will have to learn to live without beautiful things. You and Popelle are getting out at least. Sierra and Oboa too.
Hurry, we need to get a move on.
I don't think we've much longer left. Come, humans.
But Aura! We're not doing this without her!
We don't have much of a choice, pig. She handled everything else, didn't she? Whether we stay or leave, she's finished. That's what she wanted.
Aura, come on! This isn't what I wanted.
Rumbling seems to be slowing down a bit, with all the amber in the background. Huh. Sky turns more to a dusk-like color now. There's no more of the Red Kingdom there. Each morning, days get longer, the sun shines longer, the walls get hotter. Oh, it's Popelle as an adult. The fourth king once said that all things use fuel to produce more fuel. For a long time, we were the thrones. Is that Aura at the top there? But if we somehow managed to survive in this world we've chosen, I wonder if perhaps we weren't. It's been done then. The world's fate is sealed. And I don't quite know if it's good or bad. But it's been done. Red City's rebuilding. Somewhere. Almost looks like in a cavern. Like in the old Argur place or something.
The crown! But that's impossible. Aura couldn't have removed it.
The throne takes its own with it.
Its own? But that would mean Axis's daughters were...
That's all then.
Forest Girl, you cannot simply leave again. Stay. You'll be of help to us with the Empire rising in the south.
Now that I'm older, you'll peddle me like you did with the Fefneron?
That's your own stubbornness. If not that, then answer me one question. All of this for a world that barely hangs on. What would compel you to leave the forest to begin with?
If I hadn't, nobody else would have. She's got her own little overworld sprite now. As Big Mode Popelle. Oh, see, the world's still, there's some greenery. They were acting like destroying the throne completely obliterated all the everything, but there's some greenery growing still. All is not lost. Oh, the Auric built their kingdom around, sorry, is this Popelle still speaking, I suppose? The Auric rebuilt their kingdom around the hardened vines that tore apart their own mountain. The broken mountain still drifts just out of reach, perpetually held in place, always reminding them. Sorry, so that was Josh Missile and Jasmine. I didn't catch the last name as the main programmer and then the composer. And then there's some more scripting people here. I saw Yawnfly in there. It wouldn't be a good old RPG Maker game if it weren't some Yawnfly scripts used. And all these sounds as well. Wow, so we are at the end indeed. Wow. I guess I'll just keep reading the narration here. Their broken mountain still drifts just out of reach, perpetually held in place, always reminding them. She's going to give us a little summary of what the state of all the world is at. The mountain still drifts into the sky, so they could reach it if they just build a spaceship one day. They really wanted all those old books back. Apoa set out to liberate the naturalists from the aristocracy. He's building Western Ura into a unified nation with the hope of ultimately bringing his father to justice. Though the Empire grows as well, burning as strong as ever. I'm glad they didn't all get absolutely decimated, even if they are still at war. I suppose that's not great. Better than them all having died. This is what remains of Goldwood? Well, the towers. The divide seems to be a lot less divisive. The remnants of Goldwood were consumed by trees grown by the throne. It exists in their shadows. Strange things come out of the land underneath it when it was torn. Things they'll eventually have to contend with. Where does that leave? I'd rather not stay, though. Lingering too long in one place is trouble. It may be dangerous beyond Voska, but I'd not like to pass away here. That's what an outsider does, after all. If it comes to it, I'll bury myself. The end. Thank you for playing, huh? I almost kind of feel like I got a bad ending in there, you know? I don't know if there's any other way that could have gone. When I came face to face with the dragon, I don't know if I had the opportunity to, like, run away or not fight it or anything. But whatever the case, I did reach an ending. I did also feel, I wondered if it was possible to have defeated Evelyn, because it did seem like we might have been able to manage it if we just spammed items, defeating Evelyn right at the end of the actual proper Sky Castle before she takes over the throne, and you kind of wake up in the divide and everything. Of course, I don't have my save from that point now, so if I wanted to do that, I'd have to play through the whole rest of the game again. I don't know if anything happens when you defeat that boss, to be clear, but it would be interesting if there. It would be interesting to learn. And indeed, further, there was also the sort of choice we had where we were allowed to go to the Sky Castle earlier on, but I chose not to, and I chose instead to go do all the stuff with Evelyn and everything. So I don't know if there could have been like an early ending to the game there, or if it just without the Black Blade you would have gotten decimated by that Guardian thing on the way in or something. I don't really know, but there you go. We've reached the end of the Amber Throne. Certainly more somber than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting old Ara to bite the dust there. It's a bit of a shame, especially since Popelle so looked up to her. But the world does seem to be rebuilding somewhat. Like Popelle says, hard to say if for the better or for the worse. Well, I mean, it's also hard to imagine it being much worse than being ruled by our plant overlords, but that was a sad end for Evelyn, too. She seemed much more rational around the start of the game, so I kind of thought maybe we'd be able to treat with her before the end, but seemingly not so. Well, is there any more to this? If I hit enter, does it... Oh! Load which I can load a file, I see. There you have it. I really, really enjoyed that game. So first, it bears noting, as you saw in the credits there, save for some auxiliary scripts and sound libraries and things, this is all made by 2 people. One of whom, the composer, actually kindly commented on an earlier episode of this playthrough, which was mind-blowingly cool. Thank you again so much for that. Yeah, like the first thing I have to say before I get into my sort of little endgame review thing that I usually do at the end of a playthrough is, man, what a monumental quantity of work for that size of team. I thought there was no way it could have been made by any fewer than 10 people. Wow, incredible. Happy to finally have closure on it after having started it so many times, and it seems actually I did get pretty far the time that the last time that I played it. I got about to the Naturalist City, so I wasn't too far from the end when I had to give it up again. But I was obviously paying a lot more attention to the story and everything this time than when I was playing it at like midnight in university. So with Endgame's reviews, I usually start with visuals, then I go into music, then I go into gameplay, then I go into narrative. And then I end with so many more closing thoughts and notes I have in my old book here. So the thing is, the visuals and music in this game were absolutely some of its strongest points. I think the presentation was like I have no notes. It was just beautiful. I absolutely adore this hand-painted style. To have done it for every room, every enemy, every stance of every enemy, different configurations of equipment for every character and their different pieces of gear. I mean, once again, just like a monumental, tremendous amount of work went into this, work and passion and energy and just everything. Incredible, and the results absolutely show. I mean, the world is so beautiful and so distinct. I have such a strong image of the world of Voska in my mind, to the point that even if we didn't necessarily see every inch of it, if you asked me to visualize what the transitional area between, say, the Sunken Ruins is and Ura is, I would be able to visualize what that area looked like, simply because the world is so strongly designed, and as I said, the painted style is just delightful. In particular, I want to place special emphasis on how having animated sprites for your heroes and for all their different attack animations and everything in battle really livens the whole thing up, and adds a kinetic feel to the battles that wouldn't otherwise be there. Because that's something that is often a bit of a trouble with turn-based RPGs, is how do you make it feel like an exciting battle when in reality it is like checkers. It's they go, then you go, then they go, then you go. And so some people would take the route of add action components into the turn-based battles. This would be like your Paper Marios. But there's also the thing to just make it look really stylish and cool, which is the route this game took, which I really appreciate. It wouldn't be half as fun to do all the battles if when you threw the boomerang, Popelle didn't go like like it flies around the battlefield and actually slams into them and everything. So yeah, visually outstanding. Moving on to the music, again, basically the same feelings I have there. The music was absolutely awesome. I think my favorite piece is probably the Goldwood theme. I just love how offbeat and weird it is with like the little wind instruments and the acoustic guitar. It's such a neat little choice that gives it that fairy tale vibe that Goldwood so has. But additionally, the inclusion of like little like fret slides and things, like you can hear the hands squeaking on it, gives it that kind of earthy feel. I was astonished to find out. So as a keen computer scientist with a degree, I'm often of a curious nature when it comes to software and how it's designed. And so sometimes when I download a new game, I'll poke around through the file system and just see what I can see. And when I was poking through the music folder in this game, I was astonished to find that a bunch of the music was stored in MIDI files. I could not tell the difference. It was masterfully done and composed and orchestrated and everything, because I genuinely thought most of the music we were hearing was played live with a live orchestra. And I was like, how the hell did they do that with what was presumably a small team? I couldn't tell the difference at all. It was absolutely delightful. I love the use of that, like, in Axis's Old Kingdom, there's that it's almost like a buzzsaw or like a lathe in the background, that like noise that like blends in with the music but gives it that weird mechanical feel. I love that dramatic kind of like powerful brass tune that plays on Mount Arkano. It's really good. Of course, the main theme is just so mystical and fantasy-y and just lovely. The music was incredible in this game. Absolutely show-stopping. And of course, you could probably tell from the fact that I hummed along with it every time. I love the level of chime as well. And the little like flute thing that happens when you pick up an item. Just those little flourishes are always, they just make it that bit more memorable, and it just sticks with you a little longer then. So moving on to gameplay. For the most part, I was impressed with how I never really felt bored by the battles, because that is usually something that I find with turn-based RPGs. I do love a good turn-based RPG. Sinking into one feels good, like really building your characters out, learning the skills you like, getting into the flow of what order do I like to do my moves in. I find the strategy of that very satisfying, but with most RPGs, I usually find that by the end, I'm like, okay, let's wrap this up a bit. I've done like one too many fights now, and I'm kind of tired of it. But I think in part because of this game's really efficient pacing, the way it moved along quickly, I never really found that, and you never really had to fight the same enemy so frequently in a row. There were new enemies and new moves and things every like 10 seconds, so there was a lot of variety in the battles in that way. As I said at the beginning, the game does have a few bugs here and there, obviously. That's kind of inevitable with a team of this size, though. There's only so much testing can go into it with that when you have that scale of a team. And for the majority of the bugs, I would say, were not game-breaking or anything like that. They were just like little weird visual things, like there were the towers that would change into another tower when you examined them. Or it would be like we had at the end there, where like one of the bounding blocks of the world of the screen that would take you to the upper part of the red castle took you to the one from before the boss, even after the boss, just like weird little things like that, but not much of which would soft lock you or anything like that. There were a handful of typos and slightly unusually written portions in this game. Kind of like with the bugs, it didn't impede me too much from understanding what was going on. I think I do have the broad strokes of the story relatively understood. But now and then there would be some on skills in that would misrepresent what the skill did. Like they would say it increases defense when it actually increases health and things like this. Also a thing, this is a complaint I have with a lot of RPGs, that it wasn't too prevalent here because the game's combat is for the most part pretty gentle. It doesn't throw too much really hard stuff at you. Like it's very easy to become powerful. I did feel that some of the skills and things, and this is also partially a limitation of the RPG Maker engine, they would only have like one line to explain what they did, and it would be a lot better if you could have expanded that to make it like a paragraph that explains what different stats do and things. Like for example, we have a bunch of moves that are like, it'll say base damage 100 and spirit multiplier 140%. So I would assume that if Sierra's spirit is 200 or so, and the multiplier is 140%, that would do, I don't know, what would that make him, make it like 280 damage or whatever. So if the base damage is 100 plus 140% of his spirit, I would assume it would do 380 damage, but it would do like 1,170. So I didn't really understand. I only understood that the stats affected things. I didn't ever really get a strong sense of by specifically how much each stat would affect the outcome of certain attacks. So there was a lot of guesswork from my part there. And on a similar vein, I liked that there were only like 4 or 5 major elements you had to play with, like slashing, blunt, piercing, fire, lightning. Like you know, those are like the major ones. So there did end up being a lot of strategy, especially in group battles, of whether you were going to try and prey on an enemy's weakness or prey on an enemy's or just go for whatever you thought would do the most damage, even if they resisted it, kind of thing. But it was often quite difficult to tell what enemies would resist what elements and be weak to which ones, especially when with some of them, like the Sayer soldiers we fought on the way to the palace, some of them were enemy types that looked exactly the same but had different resistances, and so it seemed to be a little bit, I wouldn't say exactly a little bit random, but just a little bit inscrutable sometimes. Like there were a few things where I kind of would be able to figure out a system with it, like basically enemy who's got like a big fluffy cloak, slashing is not good against them, and so I was able to logic that out and be like, okay, I guess because a sword would get caught in it, sort of, and that kind of made sense. But then I always had a hard time figuring out whether people would be resistant to piercing versus weak to it. One thing I thought was really cool, though, was the stance system that was quite common throughout a bunch of the enemies in the game. I like the idea that enemies can have offensive stance and defensive stances, and R and Popelle, the first 2 characters they give you, have skills to deal with those stances and change them. So you can effectively change the tide of battle to make an enemy less defensive or less offensive as you see fit, if you are sharp enough with it. And it's usually pretty clear if they have some kind of armor that you can knock off, or if they're changing into a specific stance that you can get them out of. So I thought that was a very cool system. I liked using the breaker skills and Popelle's Heart Strike to manipulate enemy stances in my favor. I like the agility system as well. I like the idea that if you are legitimately so ridiculously faster than your opponent, that you should be able to knock them out in like 2 turns before they get to do anything. The game absolutely lets you. That's fully how it works. I deeply appreciate that. And it was so much fun to just build Popelle's agility over and over. Just make her absolutely lightning fast. And I do appreciate that if you're using a move that has a charge time, when you hover over the move, it shows you where you will go in the priority based on how long it will take to charge. I will say I kind of wish it did that for what will happen after the attack has come out, because I did sometimes feel like I didn't know if I was going to have another turn after I did my next move, especially when it came to Popelle, because she was so fast. It would be like it would just show the P and then the X, and I wasn't quite sure if that would mean Popelle had 1 turn before them, or if she had 5 turns. It could mean either at that point. And one of the things that meant was that guarding was effectively a strategy I could very rarely use, because what was most likely to happen was I would guard when I actually had another move I could have used before them. So once again, I gather this is more a limitation of the scripts and the engine we were using here, but it would have been cool if I had a sense of how many times Popelle was going to go before the next enemy move, so I would know I could go shoot, then guard for their next attack, rather than just being like, I guess maybe I'll shoot and then guard. Oh, that turns out I was going to get another move anyway, so I just guarded for no reason. Things like that. I don't necessarily want to say that I found the game overall too easy, because obviously I died a lot in certain portions. And I don't think necessarily a game being easy is a bad thing. And especially, I think it's better than the alternative. If you make an RPG too hard, what that usually means is you're making it very grindy. You have to fight 10,000 little goblins to get to level up a bunch before you'll be a match for the first boss, which is just irritating and a waste of time. So I'm glad they didn't go that route. More what I mean when I say I think the game, some of the combat was a little too easy is I felt like 8 skill slots was rather a lot. I didn't really feel I had to pick and choose what skills I wanted for my characters. I felt like I had enough to get every single one that I wanted. So perhaps if we'd only had like 5 or 6 skill slots, I would have had to specialize their builds a little more. Because as it stood, I felt like I was able to have something that healed Aura, all 3 of her passives, something that did a lot of damage, something that had some element variety, and something that lowered their defenses. I was able to have a bit of everything, so I was never really left wanting and making super hard choices with my build, is how it felt to me. And also, there were a few slightly odd difficulty spikes around, so right at the beginning, I don't really know what the deal with that group of like 3 rabid guards right in like the very first room was about. I guess it was just meant to be like a funny little beginner's trap or something, because I didn't think there was a way to beat them. Without getting really lucky, right? So that was a little peculiar. On a similar vein with Hasima, I felt like there was a lot of luck going into how many times she used thorns in a row, which did a considerable amount of damage, as well as how many times she would trap you in a row, just depending on who she targeted in what order and everything. I almost wondered if there shouldn't be some way to give Aura and friends like a cooldown such that they can only be trapped. They can't be trapped multiple times in a row. Like they get one grace turn where they can't be trapped after the trapping wears off on them or whatever. And then right at the end in the Sky Castle, we died a whole bunch to that first Guardian, simply because I didn't realize... Well, I didn't realize 2 things. I didn't realize that the stepping on the red flowers put like a poison on us that drained our health every step we took, nor did I realize that also like supercharged the Guardian. And when I finally figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, we probably have to... That's probably a mechanic they want me to bear in mind going forward here. And there are going to be a few more puzzles going on with these flowers, but they only showed up like maybe once after that again. So it was a bit weird to have something that so definitely is going to kill you unless you learn the mechanic, but then the second you learn the mechanic, it's sort of not used again. So there were a few little design oddities here and there that were more just things I thought added up to a slightly strange experience. But overall, I did enjoy the gameplay, and I was surprised with how I always enjoy just throwing boomerangs at people and dreadnought slashing and things. I think in part because the presentation is so good with the sound design and the visuals and everything, the battles just felt really good to play. And I like the agility system, and I like that your entire skill tree is unlocked from the start. You don't, like, say for a few where they have like 2 prerequisites, it's not like you need to be level 20 before you can access skill A as such. It's more like you can build it in whatever order you want, which is really cool. And exploration was mostly rewarded and everything. It was rewarded because you got to see all the beautifully painted areas and everything, for one. But also, there was plenty of unique gear all around. I still can't help but feel that I've gotten perhaps a less happy ending than some of the other ones that could be, or that there were some other like big side quests I missed or something, because all those bits of the Hoem robot, right? Like the Hoem source or the Hoem's head, Hoem's everything. It feels as though that was supposed to come into play somehow. I don't really know what they did in the end. And moving on to narrative, I really like the story in this game. And as I said before, I especially love the world. I think it's really well realized, and it's just that really cool fantasy thing. I'm a big fan of the early Final Fantasy games, and it reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy 1 in the ways that it's like a classical fantasy setting, but then we've mixed in some robots and stuff here and there, some neat little things. I really like the idea of because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan also, I really like the idea of the throne as this entity that whispers sweet nothings and promises you all the good things in life and preys on our weaknesses, but also our positive desires and things we would consider good traits, and really brings out the worst in everyone and sort of causes turmoil and wars, because there is one of the hard truths we have to accept in life as adults is that there aren't easy answers to everything. Wishes only have power if you act on them. And I like that the idea of this throne that sort of changed hands and allegiances several times throughout Voska's history. The Minnick had it, then the Sayer had it for a time, and then the Arak had it, whatever. And it ends up in Axe's hands and all these things, because everyone thinks that their wish is the most just, and that their sense of morality, if it can just end with me, if I can just be the last person to make this call, then the world will be good forever. And of course, that's not how relationships work between any sentient beings, for one thing. But also that there's no way to eradicate conflicts between everyone. As long as there are 2 people on the planet, they're going to disagree on something. And the characters in this game are so cool. I think Aura's design is absolutely awesome. This like silent, dutiful knight who's just so like sturdy and unstoppable. Popelle is just so funny and cool, and I love the idea of like a fleet-footed gunslinger with like a roguish archetype to her. Give more rogues guns is basically what I learned from this game, because that's so cool. Sira is maybe my favorite character in the game. I love the idea of a principled old knight who's kind of like, not exactly paying penance for his old mistakes, but just that he's always so reflective and always has to weigh things with the way they went last time and everything. And I like that even though he's obviously got some beef with the Sare on a national level, really his good heart leads him to want to be able to make peace with him and them, even if he lashes out that here and there. Evelyn and Axis are such interesting and cool antagonists. I love the idea of Axis being... It's not like he knew it was wrong and was too arrogant to admit it. It's just like he realized he was wrong too late, and the only thing he could do was send Ara in his stead. I like the idea of Evelyn, because she's almost like a more typical heroic figure than Ara. This one who assumes the leadership of a great faction and is very forwardly brave and everything, and very self-sacrificing because she believes that as long as her heart is just or whatever, then again, she can be the last one to use the throne and use it properly. And also, as a matter, it's also in a weird, twisted way kind of honoring what she thinks is honoring Axis's memory. Harpsichord is also a really cool character. I love the idea of he's like a loyal vassal to Evelyn, but not because he really thinks she's the best ruler that the land has ever seen, or even really that she's the right person for this job, more just because he has a fierce loyalty to his homeland and he thinks she's the best thing for it. It was interesting also how, from the first, when you fight, the game really manages to avoid the feeling like too video gamey in the way it breaks up the narrative. Because when you first fight Ronanam in Goldwood, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this is how we're going to be. We're going to move over here, fight Sage, move over here, fight Sage, move over here, fight Sage. Sky Castle, we fight Axis or Evelyn or someone. But it kind of starts mixing that up after a point, because then you go, you have a fight with Evelyn in the old world, then you head to the Sare Empire, and Oboa, or the Emperor just kills Demiron in one hit, and then you have to fight him. It never felt like we have to go collect all the MacGuffins for this quest. It felt a bit more organic in the way you wandered to the different places in the world. In part because they were using some sort of flowery rhetoric here and there, and then here and there was the odd typo and everything. I did have a little bit of trouble scrying what was going on in certain scenes. Also, again, with this game's quirk of not always labeling who's speaking. I think I understand that in certain scenes you don't want to label who's speaking, because then if the audience/player figures it out themselves, they maybe have slightly more attachment to that. But there were a few flashback scenes, especially whenever we were showing all four of our Axis's siblings, where I was a little confused about who was speaking, particularly as there's no voice acting. And there were a few scenes where I didn't really understand the chronology of things. What I think I understand now is Evelyn and Ara. Well, but I don't really understand, actually. I'm not sure if the dream we had earlier, where it showed Evelyn being the one who initially was the one to have wished upon the star, and Ara meeting her there, was literally meant to be Evelyn and Ara, or if that was more meant to be rhetorical, and that those were just representations of the first figures who came upon the star, and it's like the idea is that Evelyn and Ara are mirroring their relationship. Again, as I said before, I was a little confused about who Era was meant to be. At first I was starting to think that was just Evelyn's name before the Red Kingdom King adopted her. But then there were a few scenes where they were clearly still in Axis's kingdom before she had been adopted, and they were referring to her as Evelyn then. By the end, they kept trying. They tried to imply a few times that Ara and Evelyn were part of some. I guess they were part of some kind of like archangel race that somehow pertains to the throne, like they were birthed of stars as well or something. I didn't really understand what was meant by that, but I got the idea was that they had more of an affinity with the throne and had more of an ability to decide its fate, I guess. Or I think that's what I got anyway. I had thought that Ara and Evelyn got jettisoned from the castle. Well, Ara got jettisoned from the castle and Evelyn got kidnapped from the castle when they were both kids. I guess part of it is because Ara refers to it rarely in the game. I think maybe in the first journal entry even. She says something like, the mountains and horizons that taunted my imagination as a child now look so different as an adult, or whatever she says, which makes it sound like the last time she saw them was when she was a child, which is what made me assume that she was put into the coffin and jettisoned when she was little. But then we seemed to see scenes of her and Evelyn as adults in the castle speaking with one another later on. And then at the time of the rebellion against Axis is apparently when the Red Kingdom King abducted Evelyn. So I guess that means we must be like we age super slow like elves or something like that, because I think the idea is that that was some years ago, or I thought it was anyway, and we both look basically the same as we did then. So there were certainly some finer points of the narrative that twisted my brain in a bit of a knot, but like I said, the world and characters are very, very cool. I do feel real bad for Evelyn and Ara, though. That was a pretty bleak ending for both of them. I suppose I didn't always try escaping from certain battles, and there might have been like options like there. Like I don't know if I was allowed to run from that Evelyn fight at the end and just leave her and carry on. And everyone really cracked at the end as well. It's pretty unfortunate. I just kind of feel bad for everyone in this game. That's about all I had to say specifically about the narrative, so now I'm just going to go through my book and read through a bunch of my notes I had put for the endgame review in no particular order. Just the order I wrote them in, I guess. That's the particular order, which means we're going to be jumping all over the place. Right, so one of the themes we got into really early on is that there's a strong theme of xenophobia here, and that everyone blames some other kind of faction for the wrongs of the world, right? Everyone wants a scapegoat, and they refuse to acknowledge others' places or achievements in the world, which I think it's a really strong writing choice that adds a lot of weight to the throne as an entity, because everyone else has been blaming each other for so long and saying, well, if I just was the one who had the throne, this would all be better. And so it puts that much more drama on destroying the throne, because if you can destroy the throne, you can, in theory, begin to uproot that ideal in people. But for example, the people in the Divide and Goldwood don't recognize it was the Minute King who sought to spread the pure water from that area to the other areas. They're like, I guess it just came from a mountain, neato! And furthermore, the people in Goldwood are all like, well, I don't even know that necessarily that they know much about what the throne is doing, but it is the throne that's making their land beautiful, but they're just so up their own proverbial butts that they're all like, well, it's probably because if everyone else just had the tact and the goodness at gardening that we did, their lands could be beautiful too, but they don't, so it sucks to be them. So I love that the throne kind of perpetuates this myth that there's a superior race in the world or anything like that. And I love furthermore that the game seems to have compassion for all the races, in spite of how the Sayer are viewed as the bad guy of almost everyone. And even our heroes don't really get over that prejudice by the end. The game, I think, asks for compassion from your end toward the Sayer and their plight, because they're in the same boat where it's the people in power are the ones making things complicated for those on the ground. And histories and religions are relied on too heavily as gospel for who should be an enemy and who should be an ally. Yeah, I had another note in here saying, it's a little patchy and there are some bugs here and there, but that's indie, baby. Quite rare to find a AAA game without its share of bugs, indeed, and so it only stands to reason that your average indie game will have a few as well. And like I said, most of them didn't really mess with the experience too much. Yes, here's something I didn't mention about the combat that I thought was really cool. I like that there's no mana bar. Not that I abhor mana bars in other games, but I think it's really cool that each individual skill has its own benefits and drawbacks, and that's what you're prioritizing, rather than being like, do I have to keep eating things to keep my magic power up so I can spam the most powerful spell. It's not like that at all. It's like there's no one best skill for any situation. Each skill has its own merits and problems with it that you want to be weighing against each other as you go to fight. So that's a really strong choice as well, because I think it's probably easier from a game design standpoint to just say, all right, here's weak attack, medium attack, strong attack. They cost weak mana, medium mana, strong mana. So it's literally just like spend more mana and items if you want to do more damage, and there's a little less strategy to it. But this avoided that hurdle. Once again, I've written here that I absolutely love the painted style of this game. It lends the whole thing like this misty, dreamlike quality, that it's all kind of these lighter pastel tones and everything, like especially in the Sunken City battle background. The way the towers kind of twist into the foggy, like misty sky, and it's all a bit yellow and just sort of mystical looking. It gives the feeling of walking through a dream. It's really cool. Once again, just reiterating the third-person animated sprites for the battles with their own unique attack animations, different sprites for the different weapons and everything. Primo, super cool. Also, anytime there was a big sequence where a character had really long hair or like a long robe, like Persulian's clothes going all over the Queen's chamber, for instance, I thought that design was so cool. Like the swoopiness of everything, it reminded me of like old animation styles, like almost like Fantasia or something. Very cool. Yes, here's a note I had. I like the idea that Axis' whole deal with his daughters, it's almost like a weird King Lear, where the one he ends up listening to is the one who doesn't follow his doctrine without question, if you see what I mean. Aura questions him not because she doesn't love him, but because she wants to be honest with him and with herself and with what's actually and call him out for his shenanigans, basically. And even though she gets silenced and eventually dies for it, ultimately it is her unwillingness to just accept what he says without question, even when she's wee, that kicks off the whole thing of he throws her out on her own, and then she's able to do all this battling to resist the throne. So I like that aspect of the story. Another cool instance where we have a protagonist who is de facto a silent protagonist for a large portion of the game, but that doesn't mean she is without character. She definitely has character. Yeah, one note I had was that, considering how later we learn that Evelyn is really angry at Aura for having hurt Axis because they were very close, I guess she knew that Aura was somewhat struggling to remember certain elements of that when she meets her as Stranger. I don't really understand why she didn't. She acts very strangely to Aura, considering everything we know later on in the game when she first meets her at the beginning of the game. She doesn't introduce herself as Evelyn. Like, it's me, your sister. Don't you remember me? So it's like, okay, if she's not doing that, then clearly she knows that Aura's head's a little messed up. But then she also says something weird like, I'm sorry for using you, I just thought you'd be useful. Which I wouldn't have thought she would be sorry if she was so angry at Aura and everything. And the way she phrases it is, you looked like you'd be useful, as though she didn't know of Aura's, like, fighting capabilities beforehand or something weird. I don't know, it just, her whole behavior toward Aura was really odd when you consider that Evelyn knew who she was at that time. And why she then lets the anger bubble up later, when she doesn't necessarily have any reason to believe Aura's gotten any of those memories back. Her behavior early game was very weird anyway. Again, in terms of areas in this game, I loved all the different biomes you get to, and I like that we didn't stay in any one place for too long. You really do zip along. And although it did maybe halt Gendio and Oboa's arc a bit, I did feel like I might have liked a bit more time spent with them before to make Oboa's betrayal hit a little harder. A betrayal and eventual rejoining, and indeed Gendio's death. I still did like that we moved along to places very quickly. And Axis' Old Kingdom was just so cool. I love the way it's a partly medieval castle, overrun with some robotic stuff, but also overrun with all the vines, and there's just weird mechanical music everywhere, and it kind of takes a dip into horror territory. And then, of course, as I said before, Goldwood is an awesome world. So those are probably my two favorite places in the game. Oh yeah, here's a question. Why did Axis leave Aura with a diary and a pen? I guess just because he knew she couldn't talk with the crown on, but like, of all the things you're trying to pack her with when you're throwing in her little coffin out the door, why is it like a sword and a diary and not like some food? Yes, once again, just astonishing that this was made effectively by two people. Really incredible. And this is the Lord of the Rings thing I already mentioned, basically. It preys on the ambitious and sanctimonious, and it really brings out the worst in everyone, but I like that it doesn't... I think even though the characters have very strong opinions about over whose fault certain things are, I think the game's writing is very careful to not paint any one person as the bad guy. Except the throne itself, sort of. But even then, it's just kind of trying to propagate and survive. It's basically just like everyone, like Sierra keeps saying, a parasite. It's just a parasite that if this world is to survive as we want, as with our concept of what sentiency is, it must be gotten rid of. And even though the others are in conflict over it, and this is foolhardy and short-sighted of them, they're treated with compassion, and like it's generally understood that each of them believes that if only they got to the throne, things would be better. And so you pity them for that reason. Evelyn especially, actually. It's hard to watch her do the one thing her father would not have wanted by the end, in his name. Ah yes, and the final note I have in my book here is that I really like the dynamic between Evelyn, Aura, and Axis. Because I think it's very easy to come across as though Evelyn is just arrogant, and I don't think that's the case, personally. Because I imagine, especially as she's the eldest daughter, I think, she probably heard so often when she was young, if anything happens to me, you've got to get these three in line and make sure the throne is safe, right? That, like, she's had huge responsibility and pressure placed on her, so I think I understand why she goes down the path she does, even if it makes me very sad. And I like that Aura also, in spite of having been openly against Axis and kind of really done wrong by him in the end, she still got some attachment to him, right? Like, when Gendio was talking smack, she was like, you better not! You leave him alone! Even though really he wasn't her greatest ally in the end. Well, in the end, he sort of started to turn over that path, but it was a bit too little too late. I think something Evelyn and Aura have in common is that they're very zealous and gutsy, and it's just a matter of their worldviews, really, that shifted things, such that Evelyn views everything with such a pressure on her shoulders as the last and eldest of Axis' of Axis's daughters, that she has a duty to see this through and make it right. And when she dedicates her whole everything to it and it starts going wrong, that kind of paradigm shift causes that cognitive dissonance where like the two roots basically are to change your behavior to match with your new understanding of the world, which is that the Amber Throne is maybe not actually the right call, or to double down on your perspective that the Amber Throne must be the right call because you've put so much toward it this far. And that's the difference between her and Ara. Ara is a bit more receptive to new information as she comes upon it, I guess. And this maybe makes her slightly more impulsive than Evelyn, but less prone to locking into the wrong path, I guess. But final thoughts, quite a wonderful game, absolutely beautiful and artistically lovely. I'm glad I finally got to beat it after all these years of like starting it over and over. I rather enjoyed myself. If there's one thing that was constant throughout this playthrough, I was basically always enjoying myself, even if it was a battle I didn't particularly care for it, or if things were bugging out a bit, or if I wasn't getting the story. I was still like, hell yeah, let's do it! I never felt like, I'm no longer really into this. And I'm happy to be here at the end, so with the Amber Throne out of our playthrough order, the playthrough order now goes I Am Bread, Celeste EX, I Am Bread, and Omori EX. That is right, my friends, we are beginning I Am Bread so soon. It is so fun. It will be fun, I imagine. It's fun imagining how fun it will be. Beginning I Am Bread, we still haven't quite decided how far we're going to take it, if we're just going to play through the main missions, or if we're going to try and go for Steam 100%, or what have you. So there'll be time to decide all that later. And if this strikes your interest, we'll be starting Kingdom Hearts 2 after one of those games is done. I think the game we'll be completing first of those bunch is likely to be the Celeste EX playthrough, because we are very, very near to 100%ing that game's Steam achievement list. I'm nervous for Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, because I've heard that this is where the timeline and the story gets very, windy, and also that the battle system gets a little more complex and things, so there's a lot of pressure moving into Kingdom Hearts 2. And also I Am Bread's supposed to be kind of hard as well, so there's a lot of pressure moving in that as well. The pressure! Video games! But we can get all that stuff off the screen now, and I will close this playthrough there. Thank you so very much for coming around to this video and this playthrough. If you did, it was been tremendously fun. Such a cool world to wander around in. We shall set rudder to Voska! Also, the main developer, Joshua Missile here, has another game on Steam, Eldritch Hunter, which I'm absolutely going to have to try at some point because I love the Amber Throne so much. Both games that came out several years ago, though, interestingly. I'm happy that Popelle's doing okay, and the others as well. They didn't really cap off what was going on with Nuo, but Oboa and Sira seem to be okay now, and Popelle, while she's a bit gloomy and probably misses Aura quite a bit, seems to be doing alright. So rest in peace, Evelyn and Aura. See you later, Popelle and co. That's all from me. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! Bye! Goodbye! Farewell! Salutations, but in reverse. See you later! Goodbye! Run a gun and use your normal attack, which I wanted to do anyway. Somebody like if one was going to do a group attack here and hit someone, and then you can use the follow-up to Bump Kells juice once more. No, we only got 2, so that didn't work out. And you finish them off, which might bring down Kel.